everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a makeup tutorial on this look right here, and I have to tell you, this is a tutorial that I thought I would never do. If you had asked me before I even started this channel, when I started this channel, if I was going to do a Kylie Jenner makeup tutorial, I would have said, yeah right, I'm tired of hearing her name. In all honesty, it drove me crazy when people were talking about the Kylie Jenner lip trend, and then I started following her on social media. I do give her a lot of credit because her makeup is always flawless and it's pretty basic. I very often love the makeup that she's wearing. It's not even all that different all the time, but it always looks super glowy and lots of lashes, typically not a lot of eyeliner. You know, of course, she always overdraws her lips, but I really like her makeup look. So I saw this one pop up when she hit, oh my God, 30 million followers, which is just crazy to me. But she posted this picture and I just thought it was super pretty with the bronzy eyes. I just really liked it. And so I thought, all right, you know what? Never say never. I was not a huge fan of her before. I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest Kylie Jenner fan, but again, I really love her makeup. Whether she's doing it or not, it just always looks beautiful, and I couldn't help myself but recreate it. If you want to see how to get this Kylie Jenner inspired makeup, then just keep watching. So I've already moisturized my skin, so I'm going to go on with some primer, and I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer, so this is going to make everything go on much more smoothly and hide some of my pores. I'm going to use my NARS Sheer Glow in Punjab. I'm actually going to wait to do my under eye concealer, and I'm going to do my eyes first. While that sinks in and just dries down a little bit, I'm going to do my brows. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So I'm going to start off with a fluffy crease brush and use Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek as my transition shade. So I'm just going to sweep that not too cleanly through the crease. Windshield wiper motions, but also kind of blending it out. And I'm going to keep adding that until I'm happy with it. And I'm bringing it all the way in too, not just to the outer portion, and pretty far above my crease as well, so that when I'm looking with my eyes open like this, you can still see plenty of it above there. So now I'm going to go in with that same brush into Creme Brûlée from Makeup Geek, which is just a little bit darker and not quite as warm. You can see this is Peach Smoothie and this is Creme Brûlée. So that's just going to add another extra level of dimension to our crease, and I'm going to be a little bit more precise with this color. Still a bit above the crease, but not quite so wide. A little bit more precise. I'm going to go back in with nothing on my brush and just kind of smooth it out and blend it. And keep those colors handy because we're going to go back into them later. So now I'm going to go in with ColourPop On the Rocks. It looks like this. Beautiful glittery bronze color, and that will match the color on Kylie's lid pretty well. So I'm going to use my finger for this, and I'm going to just start packing it on. Just on the lid. There, I'm going to just lightly pull my eye like that. Not hard, just, you know, holding it so that I make sure to be a little more precise with my finger. If you're using a brush, then you don't have to worry about that too much. But since I'm not using a brush, I'm going in and pulling there. So now I'm going to go back into both Peach Smoothie and Creme Brûlée and just clean up all those edges. Just something to keep in mind if you are going to use a brush for one of these ColourPop shadows, make sure that it's a synthetic brush. A natural haired brush is not really going to work very well with this. I still think that it's best with your fingers, but if you prefer to use a brush, just make sure it's synthetic. So if you lost any of that, just go back in and place a little bit more on the lid. You often lose a little bit of the pigment when you're blending. So now I'm going to go in again with my finger with a foiled shadow from Makeup Geek called In the Spotlight. And these are also a little bit easier to work with your fingers, to just pick up a little bit of it. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger that I cleaned off, and I'm going to place that just right in the center of the lid, just to add a little bit of attention to the center of the lid, a little bit of brightness. And you can go in with another finger and just kind of blend that in. Again, if you feel like you lost a little bit of that bronze, then you can go in and just touch that up. With makeup, it's all about back and forth, just kind of adding in and blending, adding in and blending. Sometimes you just have to be a little bit patient. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of black eyeliner right at the root of my lash, really not much. Kylie doesn't typically do a wing. Most of the time she just has a little bit of eyeliner to hide the lash band because she always wears lashes. So before I go in with the falsies, I'm just going to curl my lashes and put on some mascara. So the lashes I'm gonna use are the Ardell Glamour Wispies. I just feel like these are the perfect match for Kylie's really wispy lashes, hence the name. So we're gonna go in with these. So now I'm gonna go back and do my concealer. Now Kylie does a very intense highlight underneath the eyes. I'm gonna do that, maybe not quite as crazy as her, but I am going to mimic that. So to blend this in, I'm going to spray my Beauty Blender with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus to dampen it. I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush and just sort of buff out some of the edges. So I'm going to use a technique called baking or cooking. So I'm going to take a bunch of loose powder. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. And I'm going to use my damp Beauty Blender. I'm going to put some of that underneath my eyes in particular, but some of the other places that I highlighted, and I'm going to leave it while I do some other things. I'm going to use my Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer. You can see I am pretty close to being done with this. So Kylie keeps her bronze pretty low, like underneath, so that it really does contour and it goes underneath that highlight. So I'm going to do the same thing. Doesn't look like she used too much of a blush, so I'm going to go in and just use MAC Warm Soul, which has a little bit of shimmer in it, but it also just is pretty bronzy pink, so it goes well with her really bronzed look. I'm going to go in and just brush off some of this powder. And it just sets it down a lot better. And make sure you don't crease as much. So I'm going to go back to the eyes just a little bit and do the lower lash line. She has kind of a bronzy color in her waterline, so I'm going to use this Laura Mercier liner in Black Gold. I'm going to go back to On the Rocks. This time I am going to use a brush, so make sure that you have a synthetic brush. I'm going to put that all on the lower lash line, all the way in. I'm just going to go in and smoke it out a little bit with the original two shades that we used. I'm going to mix them, which were Creme Brûlée and Peach Smoothie. Just a little bit. I want to mostly see that bronze color. I'm going to take Shimma Shimma from Makeup Geek, and I'm going to put that on my inner corners. Just a little bit underneath my brow bone. And I'm going to go in with some mascara to blend in the falsies and also on the lower lash line. I'm also going to take a little bit of Shimma Shimma on the bridge of my nose and on the tip of my nose. Kylie doesn't really have any highlight on her cheeks except for underneath the eyes like this, but she does have it on her nose. I'm also going to take just a little bit on my Cupid's bow. So now I'm going to go in and do what is arguably the focal point of all of Kylie's looks, which is the lips. So I'm going to use MAC Lip Pencil in Soar on my entire lips. That's what she very often uses. and I'm going to overline them, which I don't typically do, but that's something that she always does. So this is a Kylie Jenner makeup tutorial after all, gotta do it. So the key is to outline underneath and above and overdo it a little bit, but make sure that it always connects to the corners. If it doesn't really connect to the corners, it's gonna look more fake than it is. And the other thing is you wanna make sure, if you don't want it to look super, super fake, to not go too far outside, to really just go just around where the natural line is. And so you will be overlining, but it won't be too intense that it'll be super obvious. So I start by lining where the natural line is and then, you know, bringing it down a little bit. So once I've lined them, I'm gonna go in and fill them. Now remember, Kylie has had her lips done, so we can only recreate it so much if we haven't had ours done. So just something to keep in mind. So this is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to me already, please hit the subscribe button. I would just love that. Let me know in the comment section below what you might want to see in another video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.